here on the software you're going to use to take your math state test. So let me start from the beginning. So if you want to check it out for yourselves, right, and do it at home and just play around with it, you can. So the first thing you want to do is type in CBT, which I believe it stands for Computer-Based Testing Question Sampler. And then you'll get this, the first search result here, Question Sampler, New York State Education Department. Click on it, which I'm going to. And you're going to click on Question Sampler, which I'm going to do in a second here. But you may also go ahead and read some of this stuff. So like the link right above it, CBT video tutorial. So if you click on that, they made some videos here. Not all of them are pertinent to you guys, but the first one is learn how to use a CBT equation editor drawing tool. So you might want to click on that. Learn how to use the highlighter tool. I mean, that's not that hard, but if you want to take a look at that. But I'm going to go here. So if you if you click on Question Sampler, you're going to click on this, right? So let me just read this. The New York State Question Sampler is available publicly online and offers an opportunity for students, parents, and educators to become familiar with the test format, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can read that by yourself. So let's take a look. Let's go. So if you click here to access the New York State Question Sampler. You're going to click on that. Click OK. I don't have a touch screen, so hopefully my pad here works. You're going to scroll down. You're going to go select Question Sampler, and we're interested in math because you already took the ELA. This grade, obviously, either 6, 7, or 8. I'm going to click 7 because that's what my classes are. And I'm going to click, well, there are four samples, and then an equation editor sampler. So I'm going to go to sample 1, and depending on the time, I might do another one. So let's start the test. So this is pretty much what you'll be seeing as well. Accommodations. I'm just going to click on continue. Grade 7 math sampler 1. These directions will help you learn about how to take your test. So when you took ELA, those of you who took it on the computer, you saw the same sort of instructions. Full click. Gives you a little guide here as to what you're taking, whether if you're online and offline. Tells you something about the navigation area, the buttons. I'm going to just click forward because I'll go over these a little bit. Then you click on end directions, and then on Tuesday or Thursday, depending on your grade, you'll click on this. And I'm going to go through the buttons. So if you click on the review button, right, it tells you what questions you have answered and you have not answered. And I'll go back to this button because if it has been answered, it will be shaded a different color, I believe blue. So right now, I haven't done anything, so they're all, and it says unanswered 12 questions. So there are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 questions that are unanswered, so that makes sense. Let me click out. The zoom button makes this smaller, makes the screen, the wording, the fonts larger. So let me leave it like this. Bookmark it. You can bookmark this question in case it's a little bit too difficult or you want to go back to it. So I'm going to bookmark this one. And when we click on review, you'll see how it shows up. Notes. You can move this box around, right? And again, if you want to take some notes, this question deals with proportions. I'm just going to write something, right? And if you want to come back to it and you're not too sure right now, this is just a little make a little hint for you to remember, remind yourself. You can bold, you can underline it. I'm just going to click out. Reference, this is the reference sheet. If you remember taking the paper state test, we used to get this, right? And then we have to rip it out. I guess we don't have to do this anymore. Has formulas, area, volume, simple interest, and then it has some conversions here on the top. Okay, and that's a 7th grade reference sheet. So 8th grade might be a little bit different. Let's go through the tab at the bottom, color choices. Well, if I click on this, it changes the background color, right? The text is black and the background is blue. If I click on this, the background is green and pink and yellowish and reverse. All right, so that I'm just going to keep it at the original. Highlighter, just like the ELA, you can go over some portions of your questions and highlight it if you think it's important. So let's see what that looks like. It looks like that. If you want to undo that, I guess just click on it again and you'll see that the highlighted part is gone. Answer eliminator, I like this one. So if you already know that A is not it, you can cross that out. If you think B is not it, you can cross that out. All right, and then work on the remaining choices, right, and see which of the two are is the correct answer. So let me just, and if you click on it again, it undoes what you just did. Calculator, it's the exact same calculator, the yellow calculator that we use. If you look at it, has the same functions. Here is your mixed number, your fraction, has probability. So let me clear this for a second. So let me go over, let me try to write 7. Well, you're going to have the yellow calculator with you anyway, so this you might not have to use. So 7 to the 2nd power, you would go 7, you click on this, and automatically it just takes you to the 2nd power. Where's the enter button? And the enter button is right here. And give us the answer. Oops. Let me clear this. So 7 squared, and I don't, again, there we go, 49. So again, if you click the enter button, which is this guy over here, gives you 49. I don't think, not too many of you will be using this because you're going to have this the yellow calculator anyway, so I'm not going to dwell on this. Let's just choose A. It doesn't matter. Oops, so hang on a second. I'm still in the answer eliminator, so let me click out of that. Let's say I choose A as my final answer, and then I go to the 2nd question. The data set shown below represents distributions, blah, blah, blah. What is the median? So we have to put it in order from least to greatest. And again, I'm not going to do the problem. I'm just going to select C. I'm going to move on. This I'm going to leave blank. Okay. This I'm going to leave blank just to show you what happens. Move on. There is a ruler here. Okay. And if you need to use the centimeters side, you just flip it around and you can now use centimeters. I don't think you can make the ruler bigger, so good, it stays the same size always. Click on the X, the X is out. There's also a protractor for those of you dealing with angles, and again you can move this around. So click out. I'm just going to pick a random answer. Let's call that D. The table below shows a proportional relationship. What is the constant proportionality? So we're looking for K, right? So K is Y over X, and you would obviously take, if it's proportional, take any Y value over X value to find your constant proportionality, and again, randomly, so please don't believe that this is your answer. So let's just choose this one and move on. I'm gonna, once again, leave this blank. Move on. Let me pick a random answer. Move on. And then let me click on the review. Let me go back one. And let's say I wanted to go on and click on the review button. So if I click on the review button, notice that I've answered question 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. Those have been answered. For number 1, if you click on 1, it goes back to it. And notice here at the bottom, it's sort of a highlighted. There's a bookmark, which means I bookmarked this question for some reason, and the note has a little shaded rectangle around it. So let me click on note, and remember the little note that I wrote earlier. This equation deals with proportions, so I can click out, and then do the problem again. Let me go to review. So in review, you can see that 3, 6, 8, 9A, 9B, 10A, and 10B have not been done. Okay. So, and actually what you can do is go straight to the questions that are not done. If you click on it, so 3 has not been done, so I'll go to 3, takes me directly to 3. Okay, so again, let me pick some random answers here. That's been answered, that's been answered. 6, again, randomly just picking, that's been answered. And then here is something that needs, write your answer as a fraction. Okay, it doesn't say show your work, right? It just says what is the value of the expression shown value. So because you have a calculator, and you're not going to use this one, please. I've tried earlier to write the fraction. It was a little bit tough. So to write -3 1/4, well, two choices. You had to use this button here, the mixed number button. So you would have to press, I believe it was 3, and then this one. Let's try it. And then let me see what, no, I think it's that one first, 3. Nope, apologies. Let me try it this way. 3, the mix button number, 1, the fraction button, and a half. That's what 3 1/2 looks like. And let's say divided by 1/3, so divided by 1 fraction third, and then I click on enter, gives me 10 1/2, which sounds about right, right? 1/3 can go into 3 1/2, 10 1/2 times. And that's correct. But like I said, you see how difficult it was to write the answer. So just keep to your yellow calculator. But over here, when writing the answer, right, it says it just wants the answer. So we're gonna, well, we found the answer. Sorry, what was the answer? 3 1/3. So let me do this again. So it was second function. No, we clear. So it was 3. This button here, that represents the whole number, and then half would be 1, the fraction symbol, 2 divided by 1/3, fraction symbol again, third, equals, or enter, 10 1/2. So when you're writing the answer, let's go over these buttons here. The top ones are self-explanatory, the plus button, the minus, multiplication, division, equal, less than, less or equal, greater, greater or equal, pi. This one's probably for primes, those of you who are taking the 8th grade, double prime. This one shows addition. We can make the box bigger. And can we move the box around? No, we can't move the box around. So we can make the box bigger. Subtraction, multiplication, and again, if you want to delete, you can just use the delete button and it deletes everything. This one is for a fraction, so let me try 5. So let's say the answer was 5 to the 2nd power. You would use that function. In this case, our answer was 10 1/2, so we're going to use this button that has the mixed number. So if we click on that and click on the whole number, you enter 10, and then on top it's 1. Oops. Move the arrow to the right, 1, and at the bottom would be 2. So there's your answer. So that would be it for this particular question, 10 1/2. Let me delete that. This one has a fraction where the numerator is in exponential form and the denominator, so I don't know. Let's say the answer was b to the 6th power. You're doing laws of exponents or something. And then the denominator is a to the 4th power. That's how you would write it. Okay. This one, a repeating decimal, so you can write 0.3, for example, right? You have parentheses over here. Let me delete that. So this is more, I guess, for writing your final answer. So this is your parentheses, absolute value, brackets here. We have square roots. You have a root, let's say it was a cubic root, which is different, then you would write something like, I don't know, what's the cubic root of 8? That's how you would write it. Not equal to, oops, not there. Just showing you the symbol, so let me delete these. Then you have the not equal sign, angles, delta, change in values, and then I don't know what you're going to be using these for. Yeah, and that's it. So let me write the answer for this one, which was 10.5, negative, sorry, it would be negative 10.5. Move the arrow 1, make that a 2. Let me get clear. Click on calculator again to get rid of it, and then is there an enter button? No, but there is an arrow button here. Let's go to the next question. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. Do we have more questions? Yes, there are. So this one, there's a little bit different. So Mark is buying prizes to give away at a fundraiser. She has $250 to spend. What is the greatest number of candies she can buy with the rest of the money? So at the bottom is the answer. So when you write the answer, you can write, what is it? The greatest number of candies. So the answer will be, I don't know, let's say 4 candies. Right there, that's your answer. That's, so the box there says answer to the left, so that's just for answers. And it has the unit, candy bar, so you can just write 6, for example, and that would be perfect. Now, to show your work, I suggest you use the equation, not the draw feature, adding a drawing. So I don't have, my screen's not touch screen, your screen will be, and so give me a second. This feature that I have allows me to draw, right? So just give me a second. No, let me not do that. Sorry. Let me click on that. Oh yeah, so if you click on this, this one's clear all. This is to go back. This is go to forward. If you click on that, it lets you write. So can I move the box? Yes, I can move the box. So she has $250 to spend. She buy 13 movie passes. So let me click on that. So 13, and let me start writing. 13 movie passes times 950, and I would use my calculator, right? So let me actually do this problem. You would take your calculator, 13 times 9.5, and that means we spent $123 on candy. Jeez. Sorry, on movie passes, and let me write movie passes. 3 gift cards, so it's 3 times 25, and that's $75 for the gift cards. And then she says here she will use the rest of the money to buy candy bars that are $175 each. And she has $250 to spend. So let me just write candy bars. Candy bars, and you can move the square up and down. $1.75 each, and she has $250 to spend. Right? So I'm just taking my little notes. So first thing we would do, we would take the 250. I would subtract the 123 that she spent on movie passes, minus then the 75 of gift cards. So let's see how much we have left over. So 250 minus 123.5, oops, minus 123.5 is 126.5 minus 75 equals 51.5. This is how much she has left over. Now, it doesn't say write an inequality. It doesn't say that at all. So again, I can move this box down, and then the rest of the money is going to be used to buy candy bars. So it doesn't say use an equality, but we can. So let me click on pen again. So each candy bar, Right, let me write C. 175C has to be less or equal to 250, right? Or you can just go 250 divided by 1.75, which is basically what we're doing. It doesn't. I don't want to complicate this. Maybe I shouldn't have done the inequality. You could have. So 250 divided by 175. Let me just do that. 250 divided by, not 250. Oops. Sorry. Right, it's not 250, it's 51.5. That's the amount of money she has left over. Click on pen, 51.5, and then again 51.5. So two ways you can show work. So 51.5 divided by 1.7. 51.5 divided by 1.75. And if you divide that, you get 29.43 rounded. Okay, so approximately. And then if you actually did this as an inequality, show off a little bit, you can divide both sides. Right, so let me click on pen. So divide this, divide. Let me click on that. Divide this by 1.75. Divide this by 1.75 and see the number of candy bars that you're allowed to buy. It's going to be C is less than the same number, 29.43. Now, you can't buy 29.43 candy bars, of course, right? So in the context of this problem, and the greatest number of candy bars is going to be 29, right? And you can even write that statement. So that's my work. So let's just, so my thing here is that when I scroll this down, right, and again, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm making my area of my work bigger if I need more space, right? Let me click on pen again, and my problem here is when I scroll this down, my pen feature goes away. So I have to scroll this up, click on pen, and oh, you can scroll using your fingers, okay? So again, you have a touch screen tomorrow. So if you scroll with your fingers, you will still have the pen highlighted. See how the pen is highlighted right now? And if I use my fingers on your pad, right? So that'll scroll down, and then you can write the greatest number of candy bars is 29. Okay. And then at the bottom, if you scroll down, it says add drawing. Click on that, add drawing. And we're gonna, at the answer, we're gonna type in 29. The units are already here, 29 candy bars. And then we're gonna click on the arrow here. And hopefully I answered the question. Let me go to review. Now, if you go to review, let's go back to that question. So, that question was 9 something. 9A. Oh, 9A was for the work and 9B. Okay, I see. 9A was for the work and 9B was for the answer. So let's click on 9A, and you'll see that, right, my work was saved. They can clearly see my work, whoever's grading whoever's grading this, and if they scroll down, you'll see the number 29. Good. Let's try another one. Okay. Company manufactured water bottles. The list below described. February, 4,100 bottles. March, 7% more water bottles than February. April, 500 more water bottles than in March. What is the percent increase, the nearest percent from February to April? Okay. All right, so same thing. This area is to show your work. Now, if you want to manually, when I see manually, like type in your answers, right? Type in your answer for this. And let's say, what are we doing here? March is 7% more than February, so you can type in 1.07 times 4,100 to show the increase, and you want to type it out like this, and then you would go to your calculator. 1.07 times 4,100, so that means that in March they had 4,387 bottles. if that's more comfortable for you, I guess you can do that, right? And then you can write that this is March, right? Or actually, maybe we should have written that at the beginning, right? March 1.07 times 4,100 equals 4387. Could have done that. You know what? Just for let me just write February here. February was 4,100. I'll do it both ways. So February was 4,100. March was 7% more. So again, you could have done it another way. Another way you could have found, you could have done, let me split this, and you could have done 0.07, 0.07 times 4,100. I'll do that in my calculator. 0.07 times 4,100, and you get 287. And again, I'm showing work this way. So in March, it's 4,100 plus the 7% increase, 287, which equals 4,387. I'm not too much of a fan of doing this way. And then April. So April was 500 more bottles than March. So in April would be total in March plus 500. So let's show some work this. So in March is 4,387 plus 500. We get 4,887. So now we have this 3,000. We're still not done because we have to find the percent of increase. So enter, and we want to show them the percent of change. So the percent of change, remember the formula. What a pain this is going to be. Percent of change. I don't know if you have to show them the formula, but I will. Right, so I know it's new. How do I do this? Okay, so it's, remember the percent of change is new minus old over old. So the new number is 4,887. We're going to subtract the old number in February, because it's from February to April, 4,100, and we're going to divide that by 4,100. Let me just put times 100. So that's the work that we're going to do, right? We're going to enter. Oops, let me clear out of that. So again, percent, and the work you actually do in your calculator. So 4,887 minus 4,100, 7 minus 4,100, enter, divided by 4,100, enter, times 100. And in my calculator, it says the nearest percent. Well, the actual answer is 19.19, etc. Right? So, but they want it to the nearest percent, and to the nearest percent, it's 19% is right. So, but that's again just showing work. Hang on a second. And at the answer, so at the bottom here, we're going to write 19. And that would be not using the draw tool. Ugh. Let me use the draw tool. So again, can I move the box? Yes, I was able to move the box before. So here's the draw box, right? So we're going to do the same problem. Can I make the draw box smaller? No, yeah. I can, right? So we can make the draw box smaller that way. We can elongate it. So I'll make it like this, move it to the right so I can see the problem. So if I were to do this problem, I start writing February, click on pen. February, we know there's 4,100 bottles. In March, it's 7% more than in February. So again, we can do it two ways. We can do it like this, the more direct way. So again, in your calculator, you would get 4,387. And then in April, it would be March, whatever I had in March, which is 4,387 plus 500, which gave us 4,887. So we have the totals for each month, and then they want the percent of change, right? And okay, so yeah, I gotta erase this. Percent of change. You don't have to write the formula. So percent of change is 4,887 minus 4,100 divided by 4,887. Sorry, I forgot to write times 100 here. And again, right, the same calculations we did before, and we got 19.19, and to the nearest percent, the answer is 19%. So now let me scroll down, add drawing. And the one thing you can't forget is go to the bottom box, right? Because that's the area where you show work. And this is the area, this box at the bottom is where you actually write your answer. So I already wrote 19%. There's nothing else. So let me go to the review and submit button. You'll notice that all my questions have been answered. And I am ready to, you're going to raise your hand and make sure whoever's in your class, just make checks that you have answered anything, and then we click on submit test, and we submit test again. All right, so we can sign out. I'll try one more. By no means you need to keep watching this long. The equation editor sample, let's click on that, see what happens. They give us all that directions. Forward click, forward click, forward click, next. Let me go back because the split screen I didn't use. So, okay, we didn't have any of that. It's probably more for ELA. All right, so let's see. Start the test. Oh, this is really just for you to work and play with this area. And again, for these particular functions, all you have to do is press the respective buttons on your laptop, right, to come out with the symbols. There's not much to do here, but you do get to play around a little bit with it. Again, don't forget that the box at the bottom is where you put the actual answer. Okay, so again, you can click on the draw feature. The draw feature is pretty simple. I think it's more convenient or easier. And then if you press here at the bottom, it makes the box bigger width-wise and length-wise, so you can increase the size. And again, use the touchpad here, right, to move your screen up and down. If you click on the pen, I don't think you have a choice of fonts, so you know this is everybody's gonna get the same font. Try to be very neat, of course. I think that's it. I hope you get to go through it when you see it at home as well. Let me do another sample here. 7th grade, select 10. Let's go sample 3. Start test. Okay, so again, all these pre-test directions. Just click forward because we've gone through it. If you don't read them, if you don't want to read them, you can just X out and directions. Start test, and again, so let's go through this again. We have multiple choices. We have the zoom. Is that zoom in or zoom out? Zoom in. This is small. This is making it bigger. This is making the font smaller. Okay. You can bookmark the question in case you want to go back to it later. You can take notes about the question. Okay. Don't forget here at the bottom there's something called the reference sheet. Right here, right? For some formulas that you don't have to memorize, some conversions. X out of there. Color choices. If you don't like that one, you can change colors again. You can highlight certain parts of the text. You can unhighlight it by just double clicking or clicking at it again. Answer eliminator, if you know for sure that D is not it, you can click on it and it'll just, you don't have to focus on it anymore. And if you want to undo that, just click on it again. Calculator, like I said, it's the same calculator that you have, that you're going to have during the test, the yellow one. Just use that one, okay? X out, there's a ruler. X out, let me X out the answer eliminator, the protractor. Sorry, the ruler here, again, it's inches at the top. If you want to use centimeters, just flip it over. You have centimeters. Line reader, so if, oh, I didn't talk about this before. So if you want to use this to just focus on the particular line and just move it around, right, like this, and then go back to the second line and you just focus it on that line. I guess that's probably more useful for DLA because they have big texts to read, right? So this is helps you focus on a line itself. All right, so let me get rid of that. Click. Go to the next question. Click. Leave that blank. Click. So let's say you're doing the test. Click. This is all multiple choice. So for multiple choice, again, you will have scrap paper, but you also have a place where you can take notes. Okay, and for these notes, you actually have to type your comments. Okay, there's no draw feature here. So again, I'm just going click, and then let me bookmark this one, and let me click out. All right, so let me click on the review button. If I click on the review, it says that I've answered 1, 2, 4, 5. For question 6, it's not answered, but see this little pencil and note? It means that I took notes. I wrote something here, right? So that I thought was useful for me when I went back to it. For question 7, I bookmarked it for some reason, right? So I knew to come back to it. So let me change the background. Where's the background? Background. Oh, color choices here. Sorry. All right, much better. So let me just click on that one. And the multiple choice, there's not much. But here, again, I want to focus on the part 2. So remember, there's 2 boxes. The first one says is where you're going to show your work. You can actually type it in, right, using these tools right here, the plus sign, minus sign, etc., fractions, addition, sum, 2 numbers being added, etc. Or you can use the tool function, which I think is still a little better. So let me just make this box a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'll move it to the right, a little bit lower here. And it says here, so the drop function, I clicked on it, right? You can tell it's blue, and now I'm gonna start working on showing my work park. So Miss Hernandez has $100 to spend. The parking will be 7, so let me just write parking is 7. Admission is $15.50. Where's she going? Oh, to the zoo. Okay, $15.50. And per person, $15.50 per person, including tax. Write a solve an equation. Ooh, so this one actually tells you they want to see an equation. So write and solve an equation that can be used to determine the number of people she can bring to the zoo, including herself. All right, so an equation. Here's my equation. There's an equal sign, and everything she's going to use today is going to equal 100. Okay. Up to 100. So parking, she has to pay no matter what, plus the admission, it's $15.50 per person times P. That's my equation. Scroll down, we're gonna show our work. So we're going to go -7, -7. We're going to go 1550. P equals 93. We're going to isolate our variable. We're going to divide both sides by 1550. Right, so this goes away because 1550 divided by 1550 is 1, and 1 times P is just P, so we get P. And then in your calculators, you're going to type in 93 divided by 15.5, and that's going to give us 6. We can. So, does it say check your answer? Write an equation. Checking, I would check, right? So you don't have to, but you should. So let me. Can I make this bigger? So I guess I need more room. There we go. So the answer is 6. 6 people can come, and I'm just going to check my work. So the equation was 7 for the parking, 1550. The admission rate times 6 equals 100. Let's see if I'm correct. So 7, and then 1550 times 6, 15.5 times 6 is 93, equals 100. We add these two, it's 100, which equals 100 on the other side. So we know, and let me just write that this is my check. My equation is correct. So I'm going to click on Add Drawing, and you can tell it's been added. So that's the work that the scores, people grading will look at. And the answer was how many? 6. And the answer was 6. And that's all you need to write because the unit is written at the bottom. So the answer is 6 people. Click on Next. Ugh. All right, so let's do that. So again, I think most of you will use the draw feature. Yeah, I think it's much easier to write. You don't have to. Like I said, if you want to use and again use this your keyboard, you may. Let's just do this problem. Just make the square a little smaller. Let me move this box to the right so I can read the problem. Right, we're going to show work. What is this? The contractor is building the base of a circular fountain. Okay. On the blueprint, the base of the fountain has a diameter of 18, so it's circular. So, and the diameter is 18, which means our radius is 9. So let me write here diameter, 18 centimeters, and the radius is 9 centimeters. That's just for me to know. The blueprint has a scale of 3 centimeters, so 3 centimeters is to 4 feet. Okay, it's 4 feet. So here's, let me erase this. 4 feet. What will be the actual area of the fountain in square feet? Okay, so after it's built. So in the blueprint, the diameter is 18, the radius is 9, so we want the area. And for area, right? Remember the area of squares, a equals pi r squared, we need the radius. So I already have the radius. The radius in my blueprint is 9 centimeters. So let me write 9 centimeters here. I need to find out what it is in real life. So how much would 9 centimeters represent in real life? So we can set up a proportion. You can cross multiply and create an equation, or there's a relationship here. This is a ×2 relationship, right? A factor by 2, of 3. Oops, there's a back button, yes, right? It's not, okay. Of 3, so ×3. So this would also be ×3, which means our radius in real life of the circular fountain would be 12 feet, right? And if you don't want to do that and you want to actually you want to really show work and you want to set the proportion, you can cross multiply. Right, and we go 3x equals 36. Let me lower the screen. You're going to divide by 3 on both sides. And x equals 12, which is the radius, so 12 feet, which is, which is the radius in which is the actual radius of the fountain, which is the, let me erase that, which is the actual radius, and I'll write actual radius. Actual radius. Okay, so now to find the area of my circular fountain, I can now go A equals pi, and the radius was 9 to the second power. A equals, and does it say leave it in terms of pi? Round your answers to the nearest tenth of a square foot. So we're actually going to have to pi times 81. You're going to take your calculator and multiply 81 times 3 point, well, I don't have pi. What is your pi? Hang on a second. 81 times, do I have pi? Yes, there it goes. So we're going to go, the area is 254.5 nearest tenth, right? This is rounded because the next number is actually 254.46, but the 9 is going to make that 254.47. Write it a little bit bigger. Area rounded to nearest tenth is 254.47 feet squared. Okay, so we click on add drawing, and then at the bottom here, you write your answer, and we want 254.47, 254.47, and that's it, and that's 0.47, sorry. And then we click on the arrow here, and it looks like oh, there's one more. All right, I'm not going to do the last one, right? But you get the point here. So again, there's 2 boxes here, one for the answer and one for your work. And the point here is, if you want to show your work, you can either type it in, right, and use these buttons here, or you can use the draw feature and write your answer in this manner. Okay, which I think it's easier, but you make your own choice, whatever you're more comfortable with. Okay. You must save change. Okay, so save changes, and no, that's it. Yeah, and I'm gonna review and submit. Oh, okay, so all right, you know what? Let me go back to 3 because I didn't do it. Let me click B. Let me click on review. 10B. All right, so for 10B, I'm just gonna write whatever. I'm not gonna actually solve it because I don't think you're here for that. So I'm just gonna write some numbers. So we have what is it? 12 players, 20% discount. So 20% discount. So we can write 12. So we can get 7250 times 12 players, right? So let's do that. 72.5 times 12 equals 870. And we're gonna, and there's a 20% discount. So 870. After it's 20% discount, we're responsible for 80%, right? So after a discount times 0.8, the price of our sneaker is going to be $696. And then oh, I might as well just do this. And then $696 is what our shoes price are after discount. We're going to pay taxes. So remember, tax is going to be 1.065. So times 1.065, and that's going to give us $741.24. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole problem. This is just to put something in. So I'm going to add drawing. Answer. The answer is, I don't know, 5. And then now I'm going to go review and submit. And all our answers have been submitted, and we're good. And submit test, and sign out. And that's it. Hopefully this helped out. But definitely, again, let me just go back when you get home, you are going to type in CBT question sampler. This is the first one that came out, the first link. Click on that, and when you click on that, you're going to get something. Come on, oh, there we go. You have CBT video tutorials. You have the question sampler, which is what we just did. So if you click on question sampler again, click here where it says click here for access. Click OK. Now scroll down a little bit. Select the subject, math. Select your grade, 7th grade. Select the test. They have 4 samplers and an equation editor sampler which you can play around with. Just again, click on it. Select the language. Ooh, look, I even forgot that one. Sorry. Language: Arabic, Bengali, Chinese traditional, simplified, Haitian, Korean, Russian, Spanish. Let me click on Spanish. Oops, print sampler. Oh, I guess the Spanish one hopefully will be on the screen as well. Okay. All right. I don't know why they don't have it on this a sample, but I'm assuming pretty sure that you'll have the sample on your computer by Tuesday. Okay, that's it.